Hello and welcome to another edition of Portia Raw and Real, the podcast after the episode of Portia that made you go, huh? Say what? It's the conversation where you just had to keep going because it was just so interesting. All of the episodes are interesting. Go check them out at portiashow.com. But the one that had a lot of folks talking was the conversation about women who date or marry even younger men. And because it was so good, we had to go ahead and just lock you back in. Just sit on down. Let's keep the conversation going. I want to introduce you to three very dynamic people who came in from Chicago. Thank you so much. Leilani Garrett is an author and has dated in an open relationship, the same man for many years. I'm going to let you tell that story in just a moment. Janet Jackson Gordon is married to a fellow several years younger. Yes. And they've been happily married for 3 years and counting. And we've got Reverend Paul Warner. Has always dated older women and has been married to a woman 7 years older for how many years now?
15.
15 years, all right? So let me just dive right on back in because there were so many things that we got to and so many things that we didn't get to. But I know for the three of you, the consistent thing was this is what makes me happy. And yes, folks gonna have some questions. And yes, folks gonna have a whole lot of, sometimes it's more so even with women, right? Jeering a bit. But this is your happy space, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the evolution of your relationship, since you're in the longest relationship and not married to him.
True, yeah. A friend introduced us years ago, and I just thought he was a nice guy, and obviously younger, but the first time he actually, I would say, expressed interest, I was surprised. And I think I might have called him a little boy at that time.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, that was
And he was still
cool.
laughing. After you call a grown man a little boy.
He loved you.
But that's because, right.
boy.
But let's be clear. I think your son was just 5 years, or still is just 5 years younger than this young man, right?
Probably about 8 years.
8 years younger.
But
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
But it was close enough.
It was close enough. It was close enough that my son was like, what? But he decided to let mama have her life and let her be happy. And so that's what happened.
What did it take you to go from the shift of seeing a much younger man who, boy to man? What was that shift for you?
My first impression was he was a boy because he was 23.
Yeah.
But as I got to know him more, it's really the merit of the man, just insight and maturity and beyond his years, which sort of impressed me. And we had an energy that matched, like a bright, sparkling sort of energetic thing happened between us.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be interesting to maybe see where it went.
Yeah.
I was cautious and I had friends who were like, what
were they concerned for you? Like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to take advantage of you.
I think
Tell
they
me
were.
more.
They were concerned for me. They were concerned for what folks would think about it. I was concerned initially about does it make any sense at all. But I don't know. I think they were just concerned about what folks would think and would he take advantage of me or what was in it for me, more that.
Yeah.
What's in it for you really other than something brief and maybe bright and fun? What's in it for you? And brief, bright, and fun would work.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with a little brief, bright, and fun. But if you want long term, right? And you two have been long term,
Yes.
but always in an open relationship. There's never been it's never been an exclusive relationship.
No. And it's a surprise that it's been almost 20 years. No, it's never been exclusive. I think I said on the show that I don't necessarily believe in monogamy. I don't think that I believe
so
in
that's
it
not
if
just
it's
him.
your
This
choice.
is going to be how you move
It's
regardless.
how we both move. And I think it definitely would have been how I moved after a marriage.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then another long-term relationship that was where I felt, I don't want to say stifled, but minimized to some degree in both of those relationships. So I was going to move how I was going to move.
Yeah.
And he just happened to match up with that.
Understood. Janet, for you, the brother you have been with now for a few years is somebody you shot him down over and over again. Because he was how many years younger?
19 years.
And did you see a boy too initially? Is that why you were shooting him down?
I saw a man. I did see a man, but
however, I didn't think he would be the man for me. I kept thinking, like, I don't want to deprive him from having kids. And I knew I wasn't having any more babies. Let's get that straight. I'm a glammy. So I wasn't having any more kids. So I just was like, okay, how is this going to work? We're not going to have anything in common.
Yeah.
Nothing in common. And when I talked to this man, and after we had a few good conversations, and even after talking to his mom, he's an old soul. He's a very old soul.
Were you nervous meeting his mom?
Absolutely.
May I ask how many years difference between you and mom?
Mom just turned 70.
Okay.
20 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
are you comfortable saying?
I'm
how-
59.
Right.
Yeah, so she turned, and I call her mom and everything, and she was amazing. I mean, when I tell you my in-laws, I love them to death.
Yeah.
And the way they welcomed me. But our first meeting, he took me and mom to dinner.
Oh, wow.
And I'm in the mirror.
Like,
in
I'm
there
nervous
about
for you. Like,
I
oh,
was
what
there
do you
for a
say?
whole,
Yeah.
in the mirror for a whole hour. Like, no, my hair needs to be this way. I need to look younger.
Right.
I need to do this.
Meeting a woman who's not that
Yeah.
much older than
Yeah.
you. Did you initially had your, well, I guess companion at the time before he was your husband, had he told his mother how old you were?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He came to a Super Bowl party, and that was in the beginning of us dating. And I had a Super Bowl party, obviously, and he came and he showed his mom a picture, and she was like, "Oh, she's gorgeous." And he told her how old, and he showed me the text. His mom said, "What?"
What? Right.
Don't you love that?
And everything. So I'm like, thanks for the good genes in the family.
Yes.
Tina Turner was my cousin, so thanks for my good genes.
It all adds up.
Yeah.
Now. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for the good genes. But it was just like, I think I felt comfortable when the family and when mom felt comfortable, because I didn't want him to feel like he ever had to choose his family over me or have a problem, because they're like,
Especially
well, why are
with
you
the fatherhood
Yes.
component of it, right? Or
Yes,
not getting-
and he's made it clear he never wanted kids. And even all the way up until we got married on our wedding day, literally, he sent a note and diamond earrings in my bridal suite, and it was beautiful, and I cried. I sent a note to him, "Are you sure you don't want babies?" He said, "Why would you do
You
that?"
said that on the wedding day,
He said, I said,
Janet?
"Are you sure?" and everything. He said, "Why would you do that?" I said, "I just want to make sure this is your last chance to get
I
out."
sent you these diamonds. You sent me a question talking about you sure you don't want babies. Yes, I'm sure. I sent you the diamonds. Lead me down the aisle.
Yes, he
Wow.
said he spoke back to. I know he spoke back to, because my best friend, my maid of honor, Mia, took the note down there, and she was like, "He said he loves you unconditionally, unconditionally." And when I think even at our wedding, even though we had over 300 guests, I had 17 bridesmaids, 17 groomsmen.
My goodness.
I just,
Yeah.
that was a natural reaction to
Yeah.
17 women having to buy the same dress.
Oh,
Different
wow.
show.
Yeah,
Let's
you gotta
remember
know.
to do that show.
That
You
is
gotta
a
know
good-
who he married.
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
Wow.
Reverend,
Yes.
how many years older? 7 years between the two of you, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you've been married for
15 years.
15 years. So not as broad of a gap, but you've always, with all respect to the First Lady, you've always dated women who were older, right?
Yes.
Tell me more.
I just had I guess I gravitated naturally to somebody who I would assume would be more mature. And I don't think I knew their ages until we started talking, and they just end up being older than me. And I was okay with it, but initially they'd be like, you might be a little bit too young.
So you used to get that a lot.
Yeah, but, you know.
You worked it out. Help me understand what it's like for men, because I've heard some men say, sometimes I'm attracted to older women, but sometimes you got to break them out of this thing where they feel like they have to mother you.
Well, I think, as what I said before, I think it's a question of, does the woman trust you as a man to lead? And I know, the eyebrows went up. And I mean, I'm not going to apologize for being traditional. I am the preacher. So there's a way that the family should be structured. But as I listen to these lovely women speak, I understand from the point of talking to a lot of people, through their relationships and marriages, everybody's situation is different, right? And so I would say that when you're talking about the age gap difference, the first thing that will come to mind is, well, what do you have in common with this person? Like, what is it? What is that you're drawn to? Now, we won't, you can't sugarcoat, you're drawn to somebody, physical attraction at first.
Absolutely.
But then once you get past that, then what?
Yeah.
Right? What happens? What's the plan? What happens after this?
Is there an age gap issue that, or number that is like too much for you, that's just, I couldn't have gone that much older?
For me personally, I couldn't imagine me being with somebody that's probably, I'd probably say 12 to 15 years older, because we would not have been in the same era. We might not have the same memories about certain things in life.
Oh, which brings me, because those memories, those experiences, right? What's that like for you, musically speaking, or just even those iconic, like Mary J. Blige was our, the soundtrack of our lives, and were they even born on What's the 411? Like, do those kind of things come up or not so much?
For me, it's kind of like time traveling. So I've learned to appreciate some music I probably wouldn't even have listened to if it weren't for his influence on that.
Yeah.
And certainly he has appreciations of music that I listen to that, I hate to say this, that his parents listened to. So I think we learn from each other in that way. He has a different perspective on life. His lens is different, as I'm sure you know. And so we learn things. We share in the learning. Like he'll spark some interest in me, something he'll say. I'm like, I never thought of it that way, for sure.
See, as I mentioned, Drew is an old soul, and because of that, I was surprised he listened to the Temptations. He listened to stuff, and I'd be like, can we speed it up? I'm like, but also I'm in the entertainment. So when he's out with me, that was the next thing I wanted to make sure, is he wanting to be with me? Because I've dated guys before, or do you want to be with me because who I know and what I'm doing? And that was always a concern, like, because I never dated anyone that I would see every week in the club. If I saw you in there, it was a job for me.
Right, yeah.
So if I saw you in there every week, and I'm like, I'm not dating you because you let me know what you're about, you in here every night. No.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a clubber. Now he goes to support me at events, because he'll go and he support and we do our thing together, but he doesn't have to be. We can cuddle on the sofa and he'll put on some Rick Ross or he might put on Rick James. You don't know. You don't know. Yeah.
Rick Ross to Rick James, that makes perfect sense. The Friends, you touched on this a bit, Leilani, but the Friends and it sounds like the Sons are sort of the last to sort of get on board with these relationships. At some point, do you just stop caring? Not stop caring like, but just like, I can't be concerned with what others think when I feel like I have found a good soulmate.
For me, we sat down and talked. They expressed their concerns in the beginning, and I knew they were still going to be concerned until they saw. And my thing was just give him a chance. Be around him, get to know him. So I arranged a lot of dates for them, for them to spend time together, and they would come over, and they were like, he's really cool. And he wasn't there on video games. He don't do any video games.
Right.
Thank you, Lord.
Right.
That would be my one.
That would be,
That's my one
you
thing.
said playing the same
If he
video
would have been
games with
sitting
my
there,
son,
that would have been my one thing that I would have not been able to deal with and everything. But they was like, they just saw how he took care of me. Even now, he is my protector. When I tell you, I get emotional. He's a good man. Probably the best relationship I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, which I think speaks to, and I love that there's a big difference in the types of relationships here, but I think that this really is a beautiful representation of what love can look like, right? You two open relationship, meaning there are other people, but you don't see it as cheating because you believe that, what's the term, what'd you say in the show, is ethical?
Ethical non-monogamy.
Ethical non-monogamy.
Wow.
Go ahead and break that down. Wow! And now you were going to get the rev to say wow on
I
that
know.
one.
I just learned that term like the other day. I didn't know.
Really?
It simply means that if you're in a relationship and you know you're not a monogamous person, that you let the other person know. And then they get to choose, do they want to participate or not. But to know you're not monogamous, a man or a woman, and be in a relationship and give the impression that you are, or lie and say that you are, that's completely out of scope.
That's where you get, broken hearts for sure.
Wow.
Do you, I feel like such a schmuck asking this question, but I know it's one of the questions you get. When you look at long-term and longevity, are there conversations about what this looks like when we are, much older?
I think that's a really fair question. And someone had asked me not that long ago, did we have a commitment to each other? Our commitment is to contribute to your growth, your progression in life, to love you, to give you things that make you happy in terms of like my participation in your life. That's the commitment. If and when we can't do that, if I'm not contributing to your growth, to your success, to your happiness, then what are we doing?
So what happens, what happens when you want growth, love, and companionship, and he's got a vacation planned with somebody else?
Ooh.
Or do you two plan intentional time together so that you can plan intentional time with others?
Well, sometimes we plan intentional time, and sometimes it's just spur of the moment. So it's all of the above.
Yeah, yeah. And, well, yeah.
I got a lot of questions.
Listen, your question, Rev?
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of things. It's hard for me to fathom any adult not getting to the point where there has to be a commitment.
There is a commitment. I just expressed what that commitment was.
Right.
It's a different model of commitment.
Right. It's like we're,
I mean,
you change the definition of what commitment is.
No, I mean, we're committed to each other in that way.
Really?
Not committed to like having a marriage or moving into my house or anything like that, but committed to supporting you, loving you, contributing to your growth, helping you with your progress both ways. That's a real live commitment. I mean, and I told you in the green room, I believe we're spiritual partners. And so that's a different connection than, you know, on this plane, in my view.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Enough
got
for
it.
you.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and it's not for everybody.
Right,
so I
right.
respect what you're going through, but could I do it now?
Do you find that you ever long for him when he is not available, either physically or emotionally?
Not really, because I see him all the time.
All the time. And you have always, you've always been in each other's lives. There's never been like a couple of years that go by because you become attached to someone else spiritually.
No.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's
We're
deep.
all saying wow, right?
That's deep.
Yeah, that is, yes.
You're very strong for that one.
Yeah.
But also keep in mind, I mean, I was married for 10 years, and then I was with another man for 10 years, and in those relationships, I felt bound to a certain degree. And so
And now you feel free.
very, very free.
Yeah.
And I think that,
Okay.
you know,
I get that.
Okay.
I
I
get that.
can-
So for women and men so we all have some single friends, right? Who are like, oh, it is hard out here.
yes, Lord.
Do
hear it
you
all the
ever
time.
find yourself or find them asking you, do you think I should date a younger man? I mean, is it that simple? Because it's still the character of the person. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
Right.
It's still the
Yeah.
character of the person.
All my friends now, they see it work for me. They ask my
All your
husband.
girlfriends,
They're
date-
about it.
you got any
They're
friends?
like, yeah, they're like, you got any friends or everything? Like my friends always ask because you got to know Drew and how he is. If he's protecting me and my girls around, he's protecting all of us. He's
Is it
making
a-
sure we're all good.
Is it a birds of a feather type of situation? Like, did your friends tend to date older women as well?
I don't think so. I have somebody that's been my best friend over 35 years. Nah, he was kind of back and forth, but he never questioned me about it. It was just more like, "Are you good?" You know, that type
Yeah.
of stuff. It was like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
If
I
you
feel
happy,
like-
he was happy for
Yeah.
you.
One thing that seems to be consistent, no matter what your paradigm is, your love paradigm, if you would, we all want to feel safe, and we all want to feel protected, and we all want to feel secure. What do you feel like men should bring to the table, even if they are younger? And are you willing to give them that space to bring it, even when you kind of have a different life experience and you might think you know better, so to speak? Has there ever been a challenge trying to learn how to let them be who they are in spite of their age?
I think in the beginning, for me, there was, because I did have a little bit of I'm older and I can tell you how to be and what to do, and totally the flip of like the relationships I had.
Yeah.
And so also back to the little boy comment.
Yeah.
He actually told one of my friends that I said that, and she said, and she told me the truth, which was, oh, that's just her. She's afraid. So that's why because I did see a man, but I was like, you little boy. So,
Yeah.
and I thought about that, and I was like, that wasn't, but that was.
That's honest.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, it was.
I like that about you.
But I realized that I think that men like nurturing to a certain point. You know, we're nurturers. We're born nurturers. Women are,
Yeah.
but not to like nurture a child and not to tell a grown man what to do and who to be. That does not make
Absolutely.
any sense at all.
How much of your relationships do you still keep relatively private? Rev, yeah, particularly for you in your space as the head of a church. Is your wife a forward-facing first lady, or is she more so quietly in the back? And is she good with that?
Yeah, she's good with it. Her experiences in life always has basically put her where I'd rather be in the background. And I think it's very important that you pick the correct person because of how life goes. And one of my life experiences was I got very ill. And I personally believe that if I had picked the wrong person, they would have maybe left me in that. But my wife was mature enough to love me and to minister to me and to make me keep fighting through that. And so we have a mutual uplifting respect for one another. We basically have a traditional relationship. She's a stay-at-home wife.
In the show you described her, that her ministry is caring for you.
Yes.
Explain.
She screens my calls sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, when it's, when she knows I've had a rough day.
Oh, I got you.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's looking at the phone in the middle of the night.
No, it's nothing like that. No.
Gotcha. No,
She
it's
almost
like, no,
she
he's
becomes
had
like
enough.
my personal secretary at home sometimes.
Yeah.
But let me make some clarity about that. My phone is never turned over ever. So we don't hide anything like that.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But she protects me, knowing that I've had a long day. That whatever this person has going on, that could wait. That type of stuff.
Yeah,
or,
sort of the judgment to like,
Yeah.
he doesn't really have to take this one right now.
Right.
Let the brother decompress. Just
Right.
preach the whole
Can we just
sermon.
have dinner?
Yeah. It just
Yeah.
needs to decompress.
Right.
I feel you on
I'm
that
curious, the last thought as we kind of wrap this conversation. How do you feel about what's next in your relationships? You're both happily married. You are in a really good space. What's next, right? Because isn't that always the inclination to think several years ahead? Especially as women, we are over planners sometimes.
That is. I'm kind of a proponent of be here now.
Okay.
Because really
Present
the
in the
past is
moment.
the past, yeah. So just be present in the moment. I don't want to be married. I don't know what I want in 10 years.
That's honest.
I really don't. So I'm just taking, like right now I'm really happy. I love the work I do. I have a great time with a man I care very deeply for. I have kids I'm a grandmother to, or a nanny actually. And so there's no plan other than to continue to be secure, be happy, and work to have a fulfilled life. And I don't know where it's going.
Does he play a role in your family at all? Like, does he come to family functions? Does he interact with kids
Sometimes.
and grandkids?
Sometimes.
And everyone knows who he is?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what about for the two of you?
Oh, keep loving and keep living. We're so blessed, and I feel like he's definitely. Someone asked him one time, like, what are you going to do when she gets older? Or when she gets sick? And his response to them was, what if I get sick before she does?
Right. That's,
You
the
know,
answer should
it
just be
was-
stay in love.
He was
Right.
like, he was
Stay
like,
in love and care for it.
and if it does happen, I'm going to take care of it. What do you mean?
Yeah. Because
You know.
somebody the same age could get any one of those things could happen.
Absolutely.
Right.
I feel like somebody's asked you that before too. I saw that eyebrow. I know that eyebrow now.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
well, what if, when you get old, don't you? Everybody wants to grow old with somebody, and I said, well, I don't know that I do. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when I'm 80, I'll feel like, oh gosh, this chair is empty and I wish somebody was in it. But today,
Wow.
today I don't have that.
Oh, I like you.
Yeah.
Because I want to
It's very
be, I want to be
interesting to
80,
hear.
not rocking in the chair. Like none of us want to be that. I want to be 80 and doing things.
And moving around,
Moving
and
around.
shaking, and strutting down the beach. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You wrote a book
I
that is
did.
loosely based on your life, but it's a novel too. Tell me more.
So the book is the main character Elle is I inspired her, and then there are a couple people in the book that were inspired by other folks as well. But it's really an
Other folks you dated who were younger?
No, just one.
Okay.
And then friends of mine are in the book, who are sister friends,
Okay,
who have
gotcha.
supported me and held me up and still do.
And the book is called?
After the Burn, and it's an exploration of love, self-discovery, and ambition. And so there's part about her friends, that's a theme of the book. Parenting with an ex is a theme of the book. Relationships with a younger man is a theme. But basically this woman, Elle, goes through her life. She has a great job, she has a happy life, and stuff starts to happen in her life. You know, so another woman comes in and interrupts the relationship she's having. And at work, someone's trying to sabotage everything that's going on for her. And then she meets a younger man who surprises her sensibilities. And so these three things happen kind of all at once. And she has to find her way through sort of a chaotic situation.
Sounds like life.
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 Yeah.
Just some version of life in some form or fashion for
Yes.
all of us.
Life be
Yes.
lifing.
Yes, indeed.
Life be life.
The bottom line when it comes to love, whether somebody younger, somebody older, somebody the same age, the key that you have all discovered for making it last is my last question for you. Janet, as the newlywed in the mix.
I'm the newlywed. I love communication. Don't stop communicating. When we are upset, we don't go to bed angry. We make sure we resolve it before we
Every
lay down.
single time.
Yeah,
Every
before we
single
lay
time.
down. Before we lay down, I still might have a little bit in my
Might
feelings.
yeah,
but
yeah,
he
a
won't
little
see
something,
it. He
but
won't see
yeah.
it.
Wow.
But we try and talk about it, and if it's something we know that we can't get over that hump, let's just talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, or
'Cause
maybe we're just going to table it, period.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
don't always have to
to
come
agree.
to a conclusion.
Say that. But I feel like we're equally yoked. He's my him.
I love how you said in the show, he's just so fine. I love when people
Wow.
still think their partners are just fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I can see you fine too. You must be fine too.
It's fine.
Rev, for you, and make a love that stands the test of time. What have you learned? The key. I know there's not just one ingredient, but
Well, I think the main thing would be that you have to come to an agreement of what life actually looks like, the reality of your life, right? Because as we're hearing, everybody has a different story, but the reality of your life, what does life look like in 2 to 5 years? Like, what are you going to be doing? Oh, did our interests change?
yeah.
Because being with
'Cause that's
somebody
gonna happen in
older,
any relationship
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So
As
how
you
do you
Yeah.
navigate through that? You know, and we've been very fortunate that we pretty much enjoy the same things. We were at a point in both our lives where we just wanted to have somebody to be with, away from everybody else. Like, we're fine being we enjoy one another's company.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
That's
yeah.
it.
So
You
she's
really
like
like
my
her.
best friend.
You
know?
like
Like
her.
her and you love her. I
Yeah.
love her. So how can we, I know I said it was my last question, but how can we get to a point where the double standard is no longer there, where women are not questioned for dating and marrying younger men? Because men, you just, okay, yeah, just a given.
Yeah. Overthrow the patriarchy. That's what I would say. I mean, just the idea that women are, we have autonomy, we have brains, we can make choices for ourselves, as opposed to a more, no shade, Rev, a more traditional view of what women are supposed to be. That's the only way, I think, because men have been doing it since the beginning of time.
Oh, absolutely.
And a woman does it, and it's like all the eyebrows go up, and what is she doing? And
Cougar, cradle robber, how can she do that and not see her, all those things?
All that.
Right, right.
I think we need to continue to come on platforms like yourself so people can
thank you.
understand.
Yes.
I want people to understand my relationship, understand why I did what I did, understand who I'm with.
Yeah.
Don't judge from across the room or just because you know he's younger. But if you're not trying to get to know him as a person, then
Carry on.
carry on.
Carry
Keep
on.
moving.
carry on. I have loved this conversation. The show, you've got to check out the show. Go to portiashow.com, check that episode out. But I thank you for just staying with us and helping us do a deeper dive into this.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important that we have some equity in the conversations that we have about love. And this
has been
was
amazing.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, listen, and then real quick, you can tell folks where they can find you on social media if you want to, or you don't have to. Rev, I know you want to tell them where the church is.
Vision Selah Church on every single platform. Just put that in, you'll find us.
Say it one more time.
Vision Selah Church.
Vision Selah Church.
Boss Chicks ATL. That's BOSSCHIX as an X-ray ATL. On social media, That Blessed Diva on Facebook. Boss Chicks Atlanta is my website. And I Am Styled by Drew is my hubby's styling company.
Oh, you better shout out
I
your
gotta
husband.
plug my man.
You better
honey.
plug your man.
Well, he did a good job too.
Yes, yes, he did. And for you, Leilani.
It's at Lonnie on Instagram, LAHHNEE, and Leilani Garrett on Facebook, and Leilani Garrett on LinkedIn.
Wonderful. Thank you all for being here. And thank you all for tuning into another episode of Portia Raw and Real. It's been real. We'll see you next time on Portia.